Good morning. Welcome to Brewtiful Morning on Main Street in Rutherford. Hope everybody has a great day and a great weekend. My name is Jimmy Dancy. I'm the proud mayor of this wonderful town of Rutherford, and I have with me, tell them your name.
Jackson.
Tell them your whole name. Jackson Holtzclaw, that's right. Thank you for joining us each Friday morning. Thanks to Doug getting us online, and we appreciate you telling us, all of our friends and neighbors, to get in touch with us every Friday. We tried to bring to you some information, let you know what's happening. We got a special weekend coming up, and we have some special guests that wants to deliver some of those information to you. Hopefully, you'll have a time to be able to be a part of all of that festivities, activities that's going on. But thank you again for joining us on Brewtiful Morning. Now, yesterday, come here. You got to get it close so you can see. Now, yesterday, you and your mom got in that storm we had, didn't it? And I believe you saw a tree down.
Yeah, but good thing we went into the grass and not stuck.
So you went.
Yeah, good thing we did not get stuck in that stuff.
That's right. You didn't get stuck. Now Jackson is very good. He called me and Gigi at that store to let us know what was going on, and he told me that it was 156% chance of rain. Now you were right. It did rain. So thank you for calling and telling me.
And also some ice cubes.
Okay, you remember. We've got a joke. We've got a joke, don't we?
Yeah.
Let me do the first part.
Okay.
What did our detective Rick Gilbert say to the snowman? Tell him.
What did they say, Jackson?
Freeze.
Freeze.
That's too cute, Jackson.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
Yeah.
What else you want to say? Oh,
Don't.
yeah, we're going to fist bump.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, okay, that's all right. Thank you for reminding me. Thanks again to our guests. Doug, I'm going to let you introduce them. And as I said, it's a very important weekend for this town, this community, and for all of our people. So please take the time to be a part of it. And thanks again to our guests for joining us. Everybody have a great weekend. Say goodbye, Jackson.
Bye.
Bye. You too.
All right. Good morning, everybody. We are blessed this morning to have a great audience, or a great panel with us this morning for you at the audience. I was joking with them before we got set up. It's been a while since we've had multiple guests in what we'll call Studio B, I guess, here in my office. So we had to make some changes, but thanks for bearing with us. Thank you both for being here this morning. Both have been on the show, but without further ado, we have Tony Badu from both Episcopal churches here in our community. I won't let her introduce herself because she was talking before this. I think she's a glutton for punishment because we learned that she not only does preaching at 2 Episcopal churches, but also Sunday school. And so I'm not really sure how that works on a Sunday morning. We need to get into that in a minute. And then Mrs. Doris Crute, who's not only one of our council members, but co-chair of the Martin Luther King Committee of New Hope. And so today is all about Martin Luther King, not day, Martin Luther King weekend here in Rutherford. So if you don't mind, introduce yourselves, and then we'll jump into a whole series of events that people can get plugged into this weekend. So, Tony, I'm going to let you go first because, I mean, if you can pull off, is it 3 services or 2 services?
2 services.
2 services. And how many Sunday schools?
1.
So 3 events at 2 different locations, right?
Yes.
So tell us about it.
I'm Reverend Tony Belhue. I've been here about 1.5 years in Rutherford. I'm the rector at St. Gabriel's Episcopal Church and St. Francis Episcopal Church in Rutherford, right down the road. And we have services at 9:30 at St. Francis and 11 at St. Gabriel's. And actually, the New Hope MLK Committee of New Hope started out of St. Gabriel's several years ago. So just excited to be here.
Yeah, and you guys have hosted many events throughout the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Doris, we could spend all day on your introduction. Talk to people about, obviously yourself, but how did the Martin Luther King Committee of New Hope, how did that start? What was the impetus that started kind of a change in the community?
Okay, thanks, Doug. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, I'm Doris Crude, and I am like the program coordinator for the Martin Luther King. I started off as being Helen Lynch's vice chair, and I saw the need to do more programming and to find someone else to be the vice chair. But how did it all start? It started about close to 8 years ago, Doug. There, I retired from isothermal after spending 27 years doing promotional with the Afro-American Club, recognizing Dr. King and celebrating the holiday for 27 years at isothermal. So it was very successful, I felt like, because the community was involved as well as the county. And once I retired, I went over to the soup kitchen and just to kind of like help around, more of a social coordinator, they called me, because I didn't cook. So anyway, Helen Lynch, anybody know Helen Lynch? She's a go-getter. She said, Doris, we need to do that in our community. We need to start it right here in our church. I said, well, let's go for it, Helen. And that's how it started about 8 years ago. We started right there in the soup kitchen. And we got together and formed a little committee, and then we became 501c3. And then, the story goes on and on and on. So every year we try to involve different people to be a part of the Martin Luther King celebration. It started off, Doug, as one day. And then one day led up to 2 days, and now it's 3 days. So
it's never enough, right? It's never
enough. And not only that, we also have a youth leadership program where we take the kids throughout the town of Rutherford and looking at different departments and things. And then if the monies allow us, we take the kids down to the Martin Luther King Center in Atlanta, Georgia. They had the opportunity to go down like this last year. And those kids really enjoyed the sights down there. It was about close to 25 that was on the bus. And we rode down to the center, and they was very nice kids. And they walked around and explored a lot of the historical facts and historical information from the boards there. And also went through the Martin Luther King House, which was really great. We also, within the Martin Luther King's program that we do, we have a great scholarship opportunity for a deserving student who wants to pursue a higher education. We was just asked earlier, how many have we had since we started 8 years ago? I think we're on number 10. We've had 2 the first couple of years, then we added on 2, then we went to 4 scholarships. Last year we gave 2, and our goal this year is to give 4 scholarships to deserving students within the county. So please see your council, your high school council, and pick up an application. It gets back to the committee, reviewed, and then results is also given out to you.
So really, the Martin Luther King Committee of New Hope, you guys are busy throughout the year, and we'll talk more about that. I mean, it's not just what we see this coming weekend in the 3 events, and you've got it all covered. I'm sitting here looking at it. You've got food, you've got fellowship, and you've got a little bit of exercise and a walk, and to top it all off, you've got some great music and some singing along the way.
Always.
So before we kind of circle back around to the committee, we've got a big weekend starting tomorrow morning. So you've got an event on Saturday, you've got an event on Sunday, and then an event on Monday, which is the official holiday for Martin Luther King Day.
And let me tell you about that one too, Doug. Excuse me, that official holiday on January the 16th. That is the federal national holiday throughout. And I'm a sole believer of making sure that we celebrate what is definitely important to the whole town and the community and the state as well. But to me, when we simulate that walk, it's that civil rights movement that Dr. King was so gung-ho about nonviolence in the community with the people that he walked with. And that's the same image that we want to present on Monday during the walk. We want to present a safe, healthy, nonviolence movement from the town parking lot all the way up to the courthouse with no interruptions. We have a program once we get there. So that's an exciting time for me because it talks about the real true thing that Dr. King believed in.
It really is. And, in the years that I've participated, we've done that march multiple different ways. But the fun part is that to see the families. With it being a holiday, school is out of session. It's at 10 o'clock. So even for those that don't get up too early, it's not that bad. Now we were joking this year, at least we get to have the walk. Last year it snowed and we were not able to safely provide an environment for the walk. But this year the weather looks good. And you're gonna, like you said, we're going to meet here at Town Hall,
Uh-huh.
right across from Norris Library at Town Hall. We'll meet in our lower parking lot. So the parking lot that kind of faces Domino's Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come out of the parking lot and we'll head up Main Street
Right.
all the way to the courthouse. So by the time you get there, if it's a little cold, we're going uphill.
Yeah.
We'll get your blood flowing.
Yeah,
You'll be
yeah.
ready to sing. You'll be ready to listen to some speakers and to have a good time of fellowship with the whole community. Because that's what this weekend's
Yeah,
topic
it's-
is all about,
yeah,
building
yeah.
a better
Mhm.
community.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's Monday.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on Sunday?
Sunday is that's our annual Martin Luther King Community Service Day. That's the day that we always go inside of a church because we know Dr. King was a minister, a pastor. So he always went into his church. I think he started preaching right before, after his dad.
Mhm.
Yeah, he kind of like
Ebenezer.
patterned
Yeah.
his dad at Ebenezer there. So we go into a church, any church in the town that would take us in. This time I went to my church. I call it my church, St. John AME Zion Church. I know St. John's going to say, that's not your church. It is. But anyway, follow us there. We're the only Black historical church in Railton County. So I'm proud to say that. My new pastor, Reverend Sherman Dunmore, will be doing a message. And then we will have other ministers on program, as well as the Martin Luther King Community Choir. And you don't want to miss that community choir. You really don't.
No,
They are awesome.
They will get your blood
Yeah,
flowing. They
yeah,
will
right,
get
yeah,
your
yeah.
fellowship
Mhm.
moving. They really
Yeah.
move the spirit
Yeah,
through
they
music.
do.
They
Yeah,
do.
they do.
And
They
they
do.
represent many different aspects.
Oh,
of our
many
community.
thank you, Pastor Tony. They do represent. The choir is consisted of different members within the community. You're going to see us on tomorrow morning in a different garb, a different attire. Everybody's wearing their church robe, which is going to be exciting because then you see how many churches are involved, and everybody's welcome to come.
How many church? I mean, if you had to guess, I mean, we're talking 5, 6, 7, 10. I mean, how many churches are
This year,
in the choir?
oh yeah, this year we probably got a good 10 representations
Wow.
from different churches. Yeah.
That is how we're talking about building a better community, and we're talking about
Yeah.
I've always said one of my fun taglines is you can't have community without unity.
That's right.
And having the unity of that many churches
Yeah.
come together to celebrate.
Yeah.
So Sunday you're going to be at St. John's AME Zion.
Mhm.
That's up on North Ridgecrest,
Yes.
right at the top of the hill.
Top of the hill.
There's a couple churches on North Ridgecrest, so let's not get them confused with St. Gabriel. So AME Zion, St. John's AME Zion. That's the little brick church on the
Right.
left-hand
The
side.
big brick church.
Big,
on
well, it
the-
really is big.
on the left hand side at 3:00.
3:00.
Mhm.
Plenty of parking around the
Oh, yeah.
church.
No doubt. No doubt.
That'll be 3:00 on Sunday. So
Mhm.
if you go to your normal church on Sunday and fellowship with your congregation, then
right.
you can go to Doris's
Right,
church.
Right.
Doris's home church.
Yes, there you go.
Not her church, it's her home church. It's her home church.
I get the biggest kick out of saying that.
All right, Saturday. Tony, can you tell us what's going on tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the breakfast.
Yeah.
And that's where we've been selling tickets for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Doug bought his today, $15, and that all the proceeds go towards the scholarship. So
Yeah.
we're
yeah.
anticipating about 75 to 80 people.
Yeah.
Stephanie Williams is working on the menu, and I think they
You
can
said
get
something about sausage.
turkey sausage. Everybody knows me. I don't eat pork. That's a highlight of it. So I get, a few dollars worth of turkey sausage. I'm good. And so but the main thing is for us to be together, and
Yeah, that's true.
and it kicks off the weekend for us. So
Yeah.
we haven't been able to do it because of COVID and,
Yeah.
and restrictions. So
Right,
this is our
right.
time to be together. So
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to make clear, anytime throughout this entire weekend that there's funds that are being asked for. So
Mhm.
tomorrow morning, they're asking for funds for the breakfast, a
Right.
$15 ticket. You can get those from anybody on the MLK committee.
Mhm.
If it's late and you're thinking, hey, I can't make it, just show up tomorrow morning with $15
That's
cash
right.
preferred
Cash.
or
Mhm.
check.
Mhm.
No cards, no credit cards,
No,
right? So
right.
cash or check, that's
Mhm.
how you would pay. Exact change would probably be helpful. So
That it would.
stop by or make a donation. But look, all of the funds go directly to the scholarship fund.
That's the most part. Yes.
Everything else has been either
Mhm.
sponsored or
Right,
donated
Mhm.
throughout these series of events for
Right,
this weekend from the committee. So all of the funds that they raise are going directly into scholarships.
Mhm.
You heard them say their goal this year is for 4 scholarships for local students. So
That's a great.
just know that your ticket is not paying for your sausage, even though it's going to be on the plate.
That's
It's
right.
paying for an education for one of our youth,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be at the Second Baptist Church there on 191 Green Street. Doug, let me mention a second for a few minutes about the people that has given us money.
Please do.
Some of our scholarships. The Dogwood Trust there is giving us money. Kiwanis Club right here of our own town have really supported us. The town of Rutherfordton, how can I forget the town of Rutherfordton?
Mhm.
Our churches, St. Gabriel and St. Francis, and all the churches, I can't even tell you all of them, the Episcopal Church, St. John. Individual people have supported us. H&R Block owner is Chris Wilson has donated. George Miller Jr., my nephew, has donated. Time Out Management has donated. Oh my God, I hope Ulysses Miller, Ulysses Funeral Home has donated. There's several people. Henry and Nancy Giles have donated from their foundation as well, have given support there to the scholarship fund and the Martin Luther King community. So we've had great folks to support us, and we just thanks everybody. We just thank you. We just can't thank you enough, because without your support, we cannot do what we do. We really can't do this, and without grants, we can't do what we do.
And kind of coming back around, so we'll come back to the 3 events. So we've got an event Saturday morning with the breakfast, Sunday afternoon with the worship service, and then Monday kind of the highlight, the pinnacle for the walk and coming together there. But really with you guys, with the Martin Luther King Committee of New Hope, I want to say two big things I don't want the audience to miss. One, even though the committee for the past probably 8 years or so has really kind of highlighted this program for Martin Luther King Day, one of the great things I'm excited about Tony being here, and I know you've only been here a year and a half, but one of the things I've seen is that your committee works hand in glove with all of the ministers throughout the entire community to put this together.
Yes.
Tony, can you kind of speak about that? Just, and I know you get together, you talk, you plan, you bring that back to your individual congregations, and it reflects not just here, but throughout the year in different things.
Well, one of the things is we have the Ministerial Alliance,
and
that's several of the churches in this community. And so even though we plan our own events, this is one event that is for MLK Day that all of us participate in. Don Schofield, myself, there will be there's different ministers that are preaching or leading prayer or presiding the whole time. So it's a spirit-filled weekend, and and I think that truly represents what MLK stood for. So he's a man of God. He was a man of God, and we're people of God.
And we have our flutist from the Ministerial Alliance, Don Ledbetter. He's going to be on Monday.
Really?
Yes, I love to hear him play his flute. He does a great job with that.
And so, outside of all this, one of the things that the Ministerial Alliance has done so well, and as the community has kind of come together to kind of reconcile, there have been a series of different worship events for outside of what we're talking about this weekend. We've got an event coming up on the 29th, last Sunday of the month. It's going to be at RS Central High School.
Stronger Together.
Stronger Together. Are you involved in that process at all?
I am a little bit, but both our churches are coming together and being stronger together too. So St. Francis and St. Gabriel's, that's one of the things that we are working on. So sometimes you have to work in your own home to help others. So that's what we do.
So if for some reason maybe you're out of town this weekend, you feeling a little ill, whatever the case may be, and you can't make one of these series of events for Martin Luther King, I highly, highly recommend that you go ahead, put on your calendar for Sunday, January the 29th. It's going to be in the gymnasium at RS Central High School. We'll share more details about that later, but I wanted you to go ahead and get that on your calendar for that Stronger Together worship event. The last one that was done was over at First United Methodist here in Rutherfordton. They did it in their Family Life Center because they were expecting a crowd, and it will hold a little bit more than their sanctuary. It was full.
It was full.
I'm talking about standing room only. powerful
Yes,
message
yes.
and very impactful to the community. So you want to get that on your calendar for the 29th. Make sure we'll share, like I said, we'll share information. Most of the churches are already tuned into that. You'll probably see it in your bulletins, but we'll make sure to get that information out on our social media too.
Sure.
But back to Martin Luther King.
Okay. I love it.
Talk to us about what people can expect tomorrow morning at the breakfast. So obviously there's food. Talk to us about the fellowship.
The fellowship, the speaker is going to be Reverend Stinson Qualls. This will be his first time joining the Martin Luther King programs. And from what I hear and see, the community loves Stinson Qualls. And he's excited about coming. He said, I'm going to take the time away to come and be with you guys. So I said, thank you. So you're going to get a real good spiritual message from him, we pray. And you're going to get a lot of the other community leaders in the town here to be a part on tomorrow's Sunday. Tomorrow's breakfast. And don't forget, we're going to have grits and eggs and liver mush. You're going to have the Southern breakfast with the biscuits, the jelly, the orange juice, and the apple juice, and no doubt coffee. I can't leave home without the coffee.
gotta
have coffee.
Gotta have the caffeine.
Yeah. So our own committee is preparing the food. They're doing the decoration. So it's great to have a working committee. I can honestly say this is a good working committee that works together. It's the whole town works together to help pull this off.
Well, we got to be better together.
We got
to have a better community.
Exactly.
And like your shirt says, together in unity.
Yeah, that's our thing, really. That's our slogan, together in unity, because in essence, we do have 22 churches that help start us off with this. So when we got together and pulled the name together, we thought that it would be better to say together in unity. And it works.
I was talking to Brandon Wood, who's actually one of the associate pastors at Second Baptist Church, where you'll be tomorrow. And he was telling me that at one time, and I may get him in trouble, that him and Keith Stevenson, who's the head pastor there at Second Baptist, one day they were sitting around, and I'm sure they weren't sitting around. They were really busy, focused in on God's word, putting a message together. That's what they were doing. Okay.
There you go.
Well, they went through and did an exercise and determined that there are 267 houses of worship, churches, multiple denominations, 267 in Rutherford County.
Really?
Let that sink in first. 267. Now, I'm hoping that since the time he gave me that statistic, there's more.
I don't know how many years that's been ago.
I don't know either. I don't know.
But it
couldn't have been too long ago because he was able to remember it.
Yeah, he's new. But I can add to the 267. There's 55 African American churches in Rutherford County. That part I do know.
Well, and the other thing I do know, I don't go to all 267 of those. But what I can tell you is that all of the pews in those are not full on Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
And so the best way to start with building a better community is starting on Sunday mornings and fellowshipping together, getting away from this and getting back into this.
That's true. That is so
and
true.
So, for what you guys are doing to bring people together, to expose them, people that might just want to come and celebrate Dr. King for what he means for our whole nation.
Yeah.
And then being back exposed to one of these multiple churches that are there. If there's a time for us to come alongside and have that personal connection to then build a bigger community, I think that's exciting.
That's awesome.
So exciting. All right. So turkey sausage tomorrow.
Along with the liver mush.
That was made here in North Carolina, so you got to have liver mush.
Let's not get our audience started on liver mush. We could go all day just between, Max or I don't even know.
I don't know the names of them.
I just know Max. If you got a favorite liver mush, drop it in the comments. If you're watching, drop your favorite liver mush in the comments. But also, do us a favor this morning and let us know what church you represent. And if you're not representative of a church, what you're most excited about for this weekend. So let's get engaged this morning in the comments. So drop us your favorite liver mush. I'm going to drop mine down as Max. You go ahead and let us know what church you're representing this morning as you're tuning in. And if you're not represented by a church, you just let us know what you're most excited about with these 3 events.
Yeah.
As they're doing that, Doris, with these 3 things, I know it's like children. I've got 3 girls. It's hard for me to say what's my favorite. But if you had to pick, what are you, I mean, you're looking into the weekend. What are you, other than Monday at 11:30 when it's all done, what are you most looking forward to?
Well, you said it. Monday at 11:30 when it's all done. That's what I'm looking forward to. What would be my favorite? Oh my. I can't really say, Doug. That's all, because guess what? We put them together.
It's hard to pick.
It's hard. If it was any that I love them all, but I think that Monday March, when the whole community marches together, to me, that means a lot. Because guess what? I love my town.
Yeah.
That's it.
That really is fun. You know, when that happens, I usually try to stay towards the back.
Yeah.
Purposely, just to watch. You know, obviously there's people back there and have conversations.
Yeah.
But just to watch the community march in unison and see the conversations. You know, I get to be a part of a lot of community events, and so you see familiar faces.
Right.
And to see familiar faces that you don't see talking to each other at other events, them being exposed, that's fun. That's fun.
And we sing. Don't forget, we
You
sing.
do sing.
We sing.
Yes.
We sing and walk. We sing and walk. We sing and walk.
Yeah, bring a little water bottle with you.
Please.
Just
Thank you.
between songs.
Yes, we sing. Yeah.
Tony, what about you?
Well, people that know me, I love walking. So anytime there's walking about, but the thing is, like, you're out in the community and you're visible. So sometimes we're just, not everybody can go to the prayer breakfast. Not everyone can go to the service, but everyone, if they're off, they can come and walk and join us on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And so I anticipate that to be the biggest event too.
It's always a good one.
All right. Thank you, Doris. Let's see if
Mm-hmm.
we can, let's see if I can get this pulled up here. All right. So Ginger says she's with First United Methodist Church, Rutherford. Thank you, ladies, for the activities and making the observance of Dr. Martin Luther King take place. Thank you, Ginger, for tuning in. Everybody else.
Thank you, Ginger.
Let's see. All right. Speaking of walking, we weren't even going to talk about it, but Purple Martin Greenway, the churches that you represent earlier this or last fall kind of came together and did a special project on the Greenway. As a walker, you probably get to see it almost every day or at least weekly in your journeys. So
I don't like cold weather. So
you're not getting out right now.
I don't.
Oh, well.
But
Tell everybody about that, because there's still opportunities very similar to what your churches did.
Well, when I first came here, a few of us were walking. One person from St. Gabriel's, one person from St. Francis, and we walked and we said, "Wow, it'd be nice to have if we could have a bench similar to the benches that are out there." And Donna Murray took it upon herself to post a board, a display. She was in contact with you, Doug, several times, and we got the model picture, and we it was $1,500. We wanted a lot of words in there, so we $1,500, and we raised that just by displaying it, and no cost to the church, cost to the parishioners, between the two churches, and so then we had a dedication this past summer.
And what a great verse in the location of where it is on the trail.
So if you are weary and you come up top the hill and you need to come across the Purple Bridge and you need a place to sit, that's an ideal place.
Yeah. Total sidebar. We were talking. The Purple Martin is going to be in the 5K or the race series for Rutherford Outdoor Coalition this year. For those that are runners, we actually moved the race this year. So most of you know that the Purple Martin 7K used to be in October in conjunction with Hilltop Fall Festival. And just to make some changes in the race series to allow for new races, with us really focusing so much on the festival, we are moving the Purple Martin 7K and transitioning it into April. So on April the 22nd, we will have the Purple Martin Fabulous 4-miler. Okay. But anyway, on the sidebar of that, one of the folks at ROC, probably know him, Willie Lowe. He's the one that usually takes the pictures during all of these race series and puts these wonderful pictures online. One of our first years, Willie posted up about where your bench is to take pictures of runners. Could you? There is not a worse spot as you come up a hill during a race, and the faces on
Like,
people
no.
of pain as they do that. So I told Willie, I said, not this year. You are not taking pictures at that location this year. We'll find a new spot for you, but that'll be good. And we'll have another episode about that. But all the funds raised for this year's Purple Martin Fabulous 4 Mile are going to go to the memorial shelter for Eric Wells that we talked about at the council meeting. So really, really excited about that. But focusing back on Martin Luther King weekend, just to recap before we kind of go off here this morning, 3 different events. We'll share information in the comments below. We got a breakfast tomorrow morning at Second Baptist Church.
Second Baptist Church.
$15 tickets. You can see Doris today or Helen or anybody else on the committee.
Yeah.
You did a great job talking about your sponsors. Can you name off your committee members?
Yes, I can. I'll be having any of my committee members. Pastor Tony is the one. Helen Lynch is our president. Ruby Ham is the scholarship chair. You're going to want to know her. Ruby Mills is our secretary. Treasurer is Stephanie Williams. Our chaplain is Bobby Lynch and Roy Ham. And I don't think I'm missing anybody, and myself.
All right.
And that's us. And the whole relevant and ministerial allowance committee.
All right. So see them for tickets if you see them before tomorrow morning. If not, just show up tomorrow morning at Second Baptist Church in their fellowship hall. So that's the building's uphill, a little bit farther up Green Street. You got their so you can they have a really big parking lot beside of it. So you can actually kind of go around the back of the church and park just beside their fellowship hall. It's kind of a trick there. Then Sunday afternoon at 3:00 over at St. John's AME Zion up on North Ridgecrest. And then the annual walk to the courthouse on Monday. Meet here at Town Hall. So you can park anywhere downtown, but we're going to assemble here in our lower parking lot at 10 a.m. And at 10 a.m. we'll start towards the courthouse. And really, if I'll say this too, we want to make sure that everybody's involved. So if you feel like the walk is something you can't do, just meet us at the courthouse. Just meet us up at the courthouse. And celebrate that. Celebrate us coming in to the courthouse. So we want everybody to be involved with that on Monday. So ladies, thank you so much for being here this morning and for all the work that you do throughout the year.
One more plug.
Please.
I got to talk about our youth leadership program.
I was going to come back around and say that because I don't feel like we spent enough time talking about what you do in the summer with our youth.
Oh my!
Over 30 lives each summer. You talked about a little bit about you guys going to Atlanta last year. 2 years ago, you had enough funding to go to Washington, D.C.
to the International African American Museum.
So you guys are doing a basically like a leadership Rutherford style event with youth from the communities over a period of like 8 weeks in the summer.
Oh, don't talk about it. 8 weeks so loud.
How do people learn more about that? How do people stay plugged in to what you and your committee are doing?
Really, you stay plugged in by word of mouth. Seriously, I'm not the Facebook, but I'm the Facebook queen. I'm sorry. Word of mouth. Just talking to people usually is the best policy for me. Yeah, for me. Now I realize all this social media is out there and it's a go at it and I appreciate it. But for me, it's that word of mouth is the best policy for me. And I send out letters to different churches and handpick people as well. Good.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Doris, when we get back around in late May, when you're starting to recruit youth from the community to be a part of that, we need to get you back on.
Sure.
And because with word of mouth here, our hope is that everybody watching this morning is an ambassador for us and spreading the news that they've heard this morning. So I just want to say thank you. I hope that the weather is beautiful this weekend.
Yes.
It's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah, wrap up.
But the choir will get your blood flowing. So don't you worry about that. Don't even worry about putting the hot hands in your pockets. Okay. Your choir does an amazing job getting everybody's spirit moving and getting the blood flowing. So looking forward to an amazing weekend. Again, thank you both for being here. Thank you both for what you do in the community, not just highlighted with Martin Luther King this weekend over the 3 days, but all the things that are going on that you guys represent. So anything you want to add before we hop off?
No, just say thank you to Second Baptist Church. They've been very supportive of us, really. St. John and the other churches, St. Gabriel as well. But those churches have been very supportive of us.
Well, they have always been big advocates of community, and as most churches are.
Yeah,
most
they
churches
are.
But Keith and the staff over there, they've always they've done a lot of great things for the town over the years and been very good partners to us. And so, not that any other church has not, but you're right, they've done a great job opening up their building to serve. So, all right, everybody, we'll see you this weekend. We'll see you tomorrow morning for breakfast at Second Baptist Church over on Green Street. If we don't see you there, we'll see you Sunday afternoon over at St. John's AME Zion on North Ridgecrest. And if we don't see you there, we will see you Monday morning here at Town Hall, 10 a.m. And if we don't see you there, we'll see you at about 10:07 up at the courthouse when we come marching in, right?
There you go.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And thank you for tuning in this morning.
Thank you.
We combine. You know I can't deny it. Intertwined. Sand and skin so close to mine. You gotta be such a mystery.